We're going to call the meeting to order at 7:01. The first thing is our flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A roll call.
Okay, Ms. Hornbuckler.
Here.
Mr. Chandler.
Here.
Ms. Competento is absent this evening. Mr. Hof. Here. Mr. Oliverio.
Here.
Ms. Perkalnick.
Here.
And Mr. Rodella is absent this evening, and Mayor Perry is absent, and Solicitor Hosat. Here. Thank you. Engineer Keenan. Here. And myself, we have a quorum.
Great. Okay, the first item is the consent agenda. So we have on the OneDrive was the council meeting minutes from July 11th. Also the bill list from July 25th, and also the reports, and they're all listed there. So we need a motion to approve the July 25th, 2024 consent agenda pending bill list approval by the borough president, manager, and treasurer.
So moved.
Mr. Ho,
Second.
Mr. Chandler, any questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Right, public comments on agenda items. At this time, citizens may address the Crafton Borough Council on any issue appearing on today's agenda. Only residents and taxpayers of the Borough of Crafton will be permitted to address the council. Comments on non-agenda items will be taken at the end of tonight's meeting. Speakers will be permitted to speak for a maximum of 3 minutes. Groups of people will be required to designate a spokesperson to represent them before the council, who may speak for a maximum of 5 minutes. Council has the option to respond or not at the end of the address. Please state your name and physical address for the record. We haven't.
Yes, Greg Wozniak.
Okay.
You want to see
have the sheet? Yeah. Right. Yeah, I think come right up to there.
I am Greg Watt. Yes. Bar Avenue. Anyway, I wanted to ask that when you get to 11C, it's about the planning commission. The planning commission needs to start the official process with an official hearing next month. So that's for the zoning, related to the zoning. And I was hoping that you all have a good discussion about what that's going to look like, what the time frame of that is. So the public has a general idea if there's when the public votes are, how they are going to be, you know, how many days things are going to last, things like that, what the format might look like. But so I'm asking that at that point, you guys could just maybe have some open discussion and frequent information.
Yep.
Great, thank you. Oh,
Sign up.
okay. Okay, come on up.
Charlie Cranky, I'm with Fairview Avenue. I just have a question about the paving. And for Stewart Street. I think that's on the agenda for that.
Okay, we don't answer questions until you respond. Yeah.
Several neighbors have complained about the way the alley A goes into Starrett. The water is, from the rain, is going down along the curb, it's going down the sidewalk. I think there's two corners of it.
Good. All right, thank you. Anybody else? Anybody online, please raise your hand. Okay. The president's report. I have nothing to report that's not on the agenda tonight. Mayor's report, police chief search update. The mayor's not here, but Mr. Hope's going to provide an update.
Pennsylvania Chiefs Association was contracted to collect resumes, do the official job posting, and resumes were collected through last Friday, July the 19th. we received 19 on the 19th, which is nice. We've begun to review the resumes. The Police Chiefs Association is also reviewing the resumes, and the initial schedule was to, and next steps were to identify candidates to be interviewed. Unfortunately, the Pennsylvania Chiefs Association had an untimely passing. The interview director, who we've been in direct contact with, unfortunately passed away yesterday morning. Very unexpected. So we're kind of waiting till Monday to kind of reach out to them and kind of figure out what the next steps are, who's going to take over on that. So we might be slightly delayed on selecting interview candidates and scheduling interviews, but we'll still be on schedule for Q4 to select a new police chief. So.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Ho. Solicitors report.
I have no public report.
All right, very good. Thank you. Engineers report, Mr. Keenan.
Good evening, everybody. It's first item, Broadhead project. Again, this is a major upcoming sewer infrastructure project that we will be have going on in the borough. There are two updates with this. The first update is the bid documents. Right now, we are having some discussions with Gateway and the EPA to get them how they need to be in accordance with their guidelines. The other update is regarding the Perrine Street, which is an alternate to this project. We've received the easement agreement and the other supporting documents, and we have since forwarded them over to the property owner to have them review and hopefully sign off on, and we'll get those back. So once these two things have been finalized, we can move forward with putting out the bid. Next is the stairs project. Right now, the fountain, the promenade steps, they do remain closed. We are in the process of getting the shop drawings for the handrails finalized. And once those are good to go, the fabricator will go out there and put those in. Once the handrails are in, we can open them up to the public, and those stairs should be done. But the contractor has also moved on to the other set, Crafton and Walnut. They've marked it off. They're beginning the demolition on that. And that's where that currently stands. Next, touching on the road paving program, I've had a pre-construction meeting with the award contractor, Felina. We went out to the site locations, the streets that will be paved, and did some walks and had some discussions. And turns out we're gonna have two inlets and a manhole that are being impacted by this. The inlets need to be reconstructed, and the manhole is going to get a new lid and frame. Something we're looking to possibly do in-house first. I'm in the middle of having those discussions, but if pending that, we will have either us do it or the contractor. But this is work that needs to be done first before the paving can take place. So these are decisions that we're at right now. One thing that did come to light for me was when I was at the pre-construction meeting, the contractor informed me that they do some brick road repair work. So I'm looking to have a talk with them on August 7th to possibly have some brick work done in addition to this. So I will inform everybody of the results of that the next meeting, hopefully. Next item is the water main replacement schedule. Again, this is PA American Water doing some water main replacement work in the borough. It's been going on for some time now. We've had some restorations done, Parkview and Crafton Boulevard have been done and fully restored. Stairs Street, the trench has been restored, and we will be doing the full restoration ourselves once we have 2 sewer lines up in that area restored. We had also received the funding for the contribution agreement that we filed with them. That was for $27,000 that will go towards this. Union Avenue, I
want to, since we were on Sterrett, do we want to address when we do the Sterrett portion, can we address Charlene's, when we redo it, that the issue that she thought where the water's going on the sidewalks, maybe that's something we can do when we have them redo Sterrett?
Sure, yeah. Whoever we have do the repaving for Sterrett, we'll have a meeting out there and we'll discuss it.
Okay.
And we'll make sure it gets fixed. Okay. One of the other streets that were impacted by this was Union Avenue, which is a brick road. Reached out to the contractor today. The main line work has been done, but they still have to do the service lines, which are the laterals coming off of the main. They have that scheduled for the 1st or 2nd week in August. Once that work is done, that's when they'll go and do the restoration work. So hopefully sometime in August that will get it taken care of. Next item is the EV charging. to relay this over to Jim.
Yep, so we are, two things are happening. We're meeting with the Duquesne Light Engineers in the first week of August to look at the locations again. This is a more detailed look. And we're also sending in the letter to move the money. But it seems like that's gonna be an easy move, but I just wanted to update everybody that we have not actually moved the money yet, but we should be able to do that fairly soon. This grant is good until 2026 or 27, so should be good.
The locations of the chargers again are the school and
Two in the school, Station Street and the park. Okay, the pool and the pool parking lot closest to Steuben Street.
Okay. Next item, the trail feasibility study. Over the past month or so, I put together a draft of the RFP, and since it's been passed around internally for review, and I think we're at the point now where we got some final comments, so we're gonna do some final touch-ups on it and hope to get it sent out for the next week or so. Public Works Building, the most current update with that is that a general permit has been filed and approved for us for this project, and what this permit includes is some small mediation of the wetlands located directly in front of the building. The inclusion of 20 additional more feet of gravel in front of the building, which will allow better access for any contractors to come in and finish the work, as well as better access for the Public Works Department and their vehicles to get in and out of the building. It will also include, this permit also includes some more excavation for the stormwater pond, which is needed to accommodate the additional runoff from the more gravel that we will be putting in. And there is also some other planning steps on getting the building done as well that I'm looking into. The last item is the Crafton Boulevard streetlights. We had 10 initially installed. I have since ordered 7 more. The remaining 7, we did receive those, and they have also been installed. It has not been noticed, but those are in, and that concludes the engineer's report.
We have 2 more. Yeah, 2 more items. You might have an old draft.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Green Light Go, Steuben Linden, contract awarded at the first July meeting. It's really just an update, so there's not much to it.
Okay.
And then, did you want to bring up I have C20 updates too.
Yeah, the C20 updates. And there's 2 parts. There's the separation projects and the green infrastructure projects. Sewer separation projects, they are around their 90% completion. And right now we are waiting to receive the grant award, which will be at the end of September. Once that has been received, or once it has been awarded, we will move forward with putting the bid documents together. Recently I had a meeting with Gateway and Alcosan on Monday regarding the green infrastructure projects. Alcosan basically gave us a verbal approval that we will have a waiver on the next letter of intent, and that we can go ahead and shoot for the goal of reapplying in December, the next round. That's really where that stands. Now that concludes. Yeah, apologies again.
Right, and the waiver on the letters for the small projects,
Correct.
okay. Or December bid, okay, that's pretty good and quick. Okay. All right, manager's report.
Great, thank you. First up, waste collection RFP. We received 3 bids on Friday from Valley Waste Services, Waste Management, and County Hauling. The one from Waste Management is only semi-automated, and the other 2 are manual. But we have to go through legal review first, so we're not going to discuss them in detail. We're not going to discuss them other than this tonight. We will have a more public meeting at the second meeting in August, so that we have time to review it internally. We make sure the legal review is all good, and that we can explain it in a way that is understandable to the public. Because there's a lot of details and a lot of changes, a lot of small changes.
And we definitely want the public's opinion. We want to have, an open forum for this. It's an important, although garbage for some people, but it's very important, and it's a contract that goes into time. We pay taxes on this money, so we definitely want public opinion for this, and to hear what the public has to say and their thoughts around the trash collection, so that we can make a really informed decision. So we'll even put that in the agendas and a little bit more advertising on Savvy Citizen.
All right, moving on to the next item, parking issue on South Grandview Avenue. I brought up at the last meeting. After the meeting, I'm sure you all saw that we received a letter from one of the residents at that asking that we continue to do things the way we had done them, which is having people park face in and having the borough do the cutbacks when needed. Before we discuss this any further, I'd like to table this until next meeting. I just wanted to bring it up tonight because I'd like to go talk to the property owners that are in front of it, where those are the people that are getting parked. They're essentially their property is the property that's being parked on. I want to see how they feel about it, because if they are concerned with it or they would like people to park parallel, it's really their decision because it's their property. So I just wanted to bring that up, and that's what my next step is, and then we can talk about it at the next meeting after I followed up with those residents. The next thing on the list is a rapidly changing, and as now we've settled on an application for a multimodal grant for the Central Business District. We're planning to apply for a multimodal fund from DCED. It does not require a match, so we're not putting one in this round. I've sketched out. Larry did a great job sketching out the improvements that need to happen. We're having Gateway put their engineer stamp on it, and we will be sending that out next week. So with that, I'd like a motion to and to give you an idea of what it is, since it's mostly wayfinding, which is better signage, lighting, and basically placemaking, and traffic calming to basically create more of a sense of place and to brighten up and to energize our Central Business District. It's long overdue. We definitely need the investment. So with that, I'd like a motion to approve resolution 2024-07, permitting the borough administration to apply for a $3 million multimodal grant to DCED for streetscaping and pedestrian improvements for Crafton's Central Business District.
So moved.
Ms. Mullenbacher,
Second.
Ms. Polkownik, any discussion or questions?
Can you define the central business district a little bit more about what that includes?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's the same district that really would be considered in the new zoning, the CTOD district, but it's essentially Crafton Boulevard. It kind of starts at Crafton Boulevard at Noble and then goes all the way down Noble to, I think it's Hirschberger's. That's kind of the defining on one side. It also includes the coffee shop and that little bit right there. And then it basically goes through the busway over down by St. Philip's. So that whole area is really the Central Business District. And we're talking about street improvements through that lighting and wayfinding improvements through that whole area.
No streetscaping or any kind of
Streetscaping.
streetscaping as well. Okay.
Yeah,
landscaping.
streetscaping, especially where there's like Serafino's
Yes.
and we could extend the sidewalk out so they have more
Mhm.
cafe seating.
Mhm.
Make it more welcoming there. Also change, you have a senior high rise there, so you shorten the gap, crossing that street, which we hear about a lot. And some other improvements. So, and then also just highlighting the busway, making the busway more of a focal point since it's such an important asset. And we've already talked to PRT about this, and they're on board, and they've already signed a letter of support for it.
I could ask internet, but what's wayfinding? What is
Is signage. So it's essentially wayfinding is how you find your way.
find your way? Oh,
But it's more than just, it's good, it's signage on where you're going, like, and typically when you do a central business district where it's walking, you put signage in minutes. So you'll have like 2 minutes to the Borough building, 5 minutes and so that people understand that walking doesn't take as long. Most people, you say a half mile, they won't walk it. But if you say 10 minutes, no problem.
Okay.
Even though that's the exact same length.
Okay,
So.
cool.
And the original ask was for the shopping center for this, correct? And the reason we can't do it?
Well, we just weren't able to rally all the owners. So we had talked about doing Glen and Wall Street and revamping that, but we needed to have signed permissions that they would allow us to take over the roads. We got it from a couple, but we didn't get the big ones. And just because we weren't able to wrap it up as quickly as possible, so we switched gears. since we didn't think we were gonna make the finish line, so.
We have the bid documents and everything, or the grant documents all ready to go.
Yeah.
And
Or close, they're not quite ready, but they'll be ready when we have to apply next week, yeah.
Are the designs and sketches that Larry came up with, are those contingent on the bid, or is it, I mean, like, there'd be room to change those later?
Oh,
or we'd be
yeah,
able to
yeah,
see-
it's a loose design.
Okay.
It was a quick, paper and pencil to get some estimates, to get an idea. But we're absolutely able to change that.
Purely concept.
Great,
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's
And I can
awesome.
provide those if no one else has
Yeah,
seen them.
yeah, we can put them on the drive. Well,
If you're curious to see them, yeah, I can easily. Sure.
where's this money coming from? It's from just DCED? Okay.
Yeah, it's just the Department of Community and Economic Development. So it's the State Economic Development Agency. They are one of the bigger funders of municipal work.
Mhm.
We get quite a few, them and DCNR, we get quite a few grants.
Mhm.
Which is the Department of the DCNR is Department,
Resources?
Natural Resources and Conservation and Natural
Yeah.
Resources.
Any additional questions or comments? Okay, all in favor?
Hi.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Great.
Oops, it's 5.
All right, next thing on my agenda. Talk about. All the issues about loading up. It won't be as long as last time.
Mhm.
Okay. So this is the original concept logo that we received for this particular logo. And that's what it did look like. And yes. Oh. So this is the updated. And I'll share my screen for everyone.
Big rain in the middle. Amazing.
Yeah, thank you. It's funny when you look at it, you can't.
No, I don't know which one it would be.
Let's see this thing. Oh. So, and I want to go here first. This was a nice little description of the path logo and why the artist liked this. Because a path can mean so many things. A path for everyone, a path to the neighborhood market, a path through the park, a path to the annual block party, a path to an art show, to worship, to comfortable living, to your front porch, to family and friends. So that's really what he was thinking about when he created the path. And so that's the logo. This is the new updated logo with a darker orange and a little bit richer green.
Mhm.
And then this is it in its given locations. And again, we don't have to use a path for everyone, but this is just what it looks like if you do use it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it looks really vibrant and bright. I like it in the
Yeah.
monochrome. Yep, really like that. And it captures the mansard roofs and
Mhm.
the look and the greenery. And then this is if it was Borough, for maybe on a more official logo, then the department signatures. And then if you were gonna do it on bright shirts, you could do logos like this.
I like it.
Represent that everyone. And with that, I'd like to see is there any discussion or can I get a motion to approve it at this point?
I did a motion to approve it.
Ms. Bolenbach,
Second.
Mr. Chandler, any discussion or questions?
Not a discussion or question, just again, kudos to the designer and the team for working on this for as long as it took and taking all the feedback that I feel like we had plenty of.
Yes.
So I think it looks great.
Agreed.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Opposed? I'm gonna oppose it. Okay. If the motion passes. Oops.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you. All right, on to the next item. Thank you. I just wanted to announce that the photo contest winners will be in the newsletter, so keep an eye open for the newsletter. And you'll get you'll see who the photo contest winners. We did send in the final copy today. So we anticipate that it'll be hitting mailboxes the second week of August. So fairly soon.
How did you share that?
I've
seen somebody do the whole screen like that.
Oh, it's on screen right now. If you just click share, it will share the whole screen. And it changes because right now it looks like this because you're on it, but if you were to be on another screen, you could. It's changed. Now what you're sharing is what you see.
Yes, we're just
Sharing a
minimize
screen
that.
instead of a window.
Oh, just hit stop share, the red, see the red?
Got it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, I didn't know. A whole new level.
Yeah.
like-
Yeah.
Got on a spiral, thank you.
Yeah, that's all right. All right, so just wanted to announce that the photo contest winners will be in the next newsletter, so looking forward to that. Next thing I have we have an ask from the rec board to have a temporary pause on the dog ban from Crafton Park, and it's actually in the ordinance that council can ask for a pause whenever they want.
Oh.
So. There you go. That I'm done. And so with that, I'd like to get a motion to approve a one day pause on the portion of Crafton's code 154-2 line A that prohibits domesticated dogs from Crafton's Park for Fall Fest on Saturday, September 28th.
Still moved.
Ms. Bolenbacher, Mr. Chandler, discussion?
Will there be any type of waste bag receptacles or anything provided
Great.
for the day of?
Great question.
I don't want to step in the poo.
Yeah, we will work on getting those here.
In addition to the, again, food collection, maybe water stations, just throwing it out there. I know everyone usually travels with their own, but
Yeah,
maybe this could be the start of something. So,
if we're inviting dogs, we should have things
Yeah.
for dogs, yep.
Agreed.
Do we have to worry? I mean, that's our biggest event. So there's gonna be little kids running around. There's gonna be lots of people. We have people worried about allergies, getting bit, afraid of dogs.
I mean, we could always add that they have to be leashed at all times.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
probably.
I
a good
think
idea.
that would
Yeah.
definitely alleviate most. I mean, if you're allergic, then it's kind of to you to stay away from the
Yeah.
dog, in my opinion, but.
Yeah.
The biting is a reasonable, I
With
think
kids
that we have to
running
require
around.
leash at all times,
Must be
would be a
leashed, yeah.
smart
Okay.
requirement. Good.
So we want doggy bags, we want somewhere for them to drink, and we also want to make sure that the signage that they have leash names. Keep your dog leashed. Okay. All right,
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
okay. Thank you. And then the last thing on my is just an update of the budget process. The directors just got their budget and we will be having a decision next week, so we're a little behind schedule on that. But we're jumping into, excuse me, lost my place. We'll be jumping right into the finance meeting in August with those draft budgets. We'll have that discussion next week, and then the finance meeting, we will have a more detailed draft budget conversation at that point. And then you can see the schedule from there forward. And with that, that concludes my report.
Again, just as a reminder, we'll have to look at how we're going with the budget and Thanksgiving. Today. Standing committee reports, finance administration, and sustainability.
I guess I'm doing this too, aren't I?
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, the budget planning has begun. And for reviewing the financial position through June, when we had our meeting a couple weeks ago, or was it last week? We're good on all accounts again. I did put an updated bond sheet on the website, so anybody wants to see that, that is there. And then budget versus actuals look good. The only major mistake was the one that we had last time for unemployment insurance. Everything else we're looking good. So
So where are those documents for the public and council?
for public, I can put them on the website, and council, I need to put it, I was just doing all the information until tonight, but I'll get that on there tomorrow.
Okay.
So I'll get it on the finance page and on the website, and then in the council drive tomorrow.
So the finance page will be for the public, and then the OneDrive is for the council. Take a look at. Okay. Okay. Infrastructure, land use. That's the place again for Kirsten.
Yep, all right, so, as we discussed, this is the zoning ordinance update. Since I'll also be doing the planning commission, I'm just gonna talk about that now. The planning commission met on the 23rd and discussed the new zoning ordinance. And then they heard also from Christie, who talked about the land value tax and assessments. And the planning commission did agree to start the official process with an official hearing next month. And Hannah, if I could have you lay out the timeline on how, zoning ordinances have to be.
Yeah, of course. So, the municipalities planning code is the statute that allows for municipalities to adopt a zoning ordinance, and it also has the process for amending a zoning ordinance once you've adopted one. And so there are a few requirements. One is that the planning commission, which is an advisory body, review the proposed amendment and provide a recommendation to the governing body, so Borough Council, prior to Borough Council holding a hearing. Also, a step that is required before the hearing is for the county to review the ordinance amendment and provide comment. This is a 45-day period, so the borough will send the ordinance amendment to the Allegheny County Planning Department. They'll review it. They have 45 days. They'll provide comments. Sometimes it takes the whole 45 days. And then if Borough Council or the Planning Commission reviews those comments and decides they want to make substantive changes to the ordinance, then they have to restart the process, and it has to go back to the county again for review and another 45-day period. If there are minimal changes or there are no changes, then they can move forward with having a public hearing. In order for the governing body, Borough Council, to have a public hearing, they have to advertise the public hearing twice consecutively in between no more than 30 days before the meeting and no less than 7 days. It's usually 2 days in a row, like a week apart. Like a Thursday and the next Thursday. And then, once it's been properly advertised, it'll be on the agenda, and then Borough Council will review the ordinance and hold a formal public hearing where they will, review it themselves, discuss it, and allow for public comment. And then they can take official action on the, ordinance amendment if they choose to. So hopefully that kind of clears up the process. It sounds like I didn't help with this, ordinance amendment, but it sounds like they had just sent a new draft to the planning commission, so I would assume that it hasn't been sent to the county yet.
No, but the draft was approved with a change at the last meeting, but they still have to, it hasn't been officially approved, but I think the county's able to review it before the planning commission officially reviews it. I mean,
Yeah,
approves it.
They can review concurrently, the
Right.
planning commission, the governing body is the only one that can't take official action until the 45 days on.
Yeah, so I think we're actually sending it to them prior to the next planning commission meeting, since the planning commission had said that this would be their public hearing, so we're probably gonna send it to them for review, so if there's questions, we can get back to them. Yeah.
And I also want to note that once the public hearing has been advertised, the ordinance will be available to the public, so you'll be able to view it here at the Borough Building. The newspaper will have a copy, the county clerk will have a copy, and the county law library will all have a copy, so the public will have access to the ordinance well in advance of the public hearing.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, with that, the next part on the infrastructure and land use portion is the Safe Streets for All federal grant. I just talked to Rosalind Farms yesterday, and I hope to be getting that intergovernmental cooperation agreement early next week, and that way we can all review it. And you'll have two meetings. You'll have a meeting to review and then a meeting to approve it. we will go from there. And with that, and the planning commission I've already discussed, so with that, I'll end both of those discussions.
Do the councils of those other areas have to go through any approvals?
Yes,
So they have to,
they're aware.
okay,
And yep, that's why, Dorothy is the manager for Roslyn Farm, so we've had that discussion so that I know they can get it in time.
yeah, because some of them just have one meeting a
Yep,
month.
yep.
and- Okay. Okay. Any questions or anything? All right. Communication recreation, Ms. Bodenbacher.
Jim, you're on a roll. Would you like to take this? And he's like, do you want me?
Yeah. I didn't know whether you were actually serious. Did I miss something or?
I'm joking, I'm joking. So our upcoming events, we do have a senior dinner scheduled for 2 Saturdays from now, August 3rd. That is disco themed with DJ White Claw. There's gonna be, I'm sorry, I'm distracted this
No, what
evening,
are
I
you doing?
apologize. There's
Community
also,
dinner too.
what's that?
Senior and community dinner.
And senior and community event. There is a possibility, though, that this event may be canceled, just so people are aware.
Okay.
If it is, anybody who RSVP'd will get a notification. We will call them and let them know. We'll also put it out on Savvy Citizen as well as the Borough website, so hopefully it won't be, but we'll see. That is a possibility. But if it does continue, like I said, it's disco themed with DJ White Claw. And it's going to be catered by Rockefellers, so I will keep you all up to date on that. Any questions on that?
Is there any specific reason for the cancellation?
Lack of participation.
Okay,
Yeah, the amount of people versus what's kind of required for it to be.
people signing up to
Yeah,
attend.
yeah,
Okay.
The
so. if
caterer
anybody-
does have a minimum.
So if anybody is still interested, sign up is over tomorrow. So if anybody has any interest, please either call the borough or more importantly, or better, go to the website to RSVP. So we'll keep our fingers crossed on that, but we'll see. Next up is our Fall Fest. That's gonna be Saturday, September 28th. That's gonna be from 1 to 6. We are going to start the day off with our dancers from the West End. What? Here. They are the Element Dance Troupe. That's gonna be the dance troupe
Oh,
that
okay.
it starts off with. No, that's the band.
That's the band.
Followed with that, the rest of it would be the band, which is the Corn Liquor Saints. So some of our entertainment that we have booked is axe throwing, inflatable obstacle course, a bubble house, a balloon artist, and face painting. And then we'll have our spin art and our lawn games that we have for most of our events. We will have Back Alley Brewing there as one of our trucks. And then we do have a few more food trucks and some vendors, but we're always looking for more. So if we have any food trucks or vendors who are interested, please go to the website, the Borough website to sign up. And of course, as always, we're always looking for volunteers. Even if you can just, if you're coming for the day, if you can just donate an hour of that day, we would appreciate the help. So if you are interested in volunteering, once again, please go to the Borough website and let us know. We would definitely appreciate that.
What is the bubble house?
The bubble house is kind of, it's kind of a photo opportunity. You go in and there's like balloons and things just kind of flying around and you can just take
Oh.
a picture in there. It's actually cooler than I'm making it sound. It's actually really neat when you actually see it, but I'm very bad at describing what it is.
Balloons flying.
It's Andy Warhol meets.
Yeah, yes,
Wow.
that's, thank you. That's way better than I put it, so. And it's for kids and adults alike, so anybody's allowed to access it. It's not just for the kiddos. Any questions on that? All right. After that, we have our haunted tour. That's gonna start on Saturday, October 19th. It's gonna have a kickoff with a trunk or treat in the park. So we're hoping to get some people to join us with that. And then we have the haunted tour that will start off on the 19th and it'll run through Halloween, which is Thursday this year, the 31st. And once again, we could use a few volunteers. Someone wants to help out, let us know. That's it in terms of detail, but for the remainder of the year, the things that are coming up after that, we have our celebration of lights, which will be Saturday, December 7th. We have our Christmas house tour, which is December 15th. So more details for those to come. The next one was logo, which Jim already took care of, as well as newsletter, which Jim took care of. So that's the end of my report. Thanks.
Okay. All right, commission vacancy, Ms. Kukonic.
I'll just say they're all vacant, all positions are currently filled in all of our commissions and boards, which is awesome. We will have some coming later on in the year. So we'll just do a good job, as we always do, of advertising that and making sure we get the word out for people to keep their eyes peeled and apply. So we're in good shape.
Great. Good job. COG is on summer break still.
Correct. So our next meeting will be Thursday, September 19th at 6:30 in Kennedy.
All right. Anybody else have anything for Elizabeth? Great, some community announcements. We have, our next council meeting is Thursday, August 8th at 7 o'clock. Pool passes are still available. It's still hot. We have a whole nother month to go. So you can get those online. Mini golf is open Fridays and Saturdays from 7 to 9, $2 per person to play. And we also will have it in October for spooky or spooktacular golf will be happening then too. The Crafton Ingram Rotary is having the Rib and Chicken Fest in Llama Plop on August 1st from 5 to 7 in Crafton Park. If you've never been, it is actually a really fun event. The obviously public, everybody, I encourage you to go. They have tons and tons of food, tons of networking. It's around the garden, community garden. And it's not really a llama. Last year it wasn't. It was 2 alpacas. And the little kids,
Know the difference.
the little kids all were like, that's not a llama. And
Let's just do that.
yeah, there you go. Exactly. And they have these squares.
Kudos, Carlington.
Very, very cool. They have little squares and then the alpaca just kind of sit there. But eventually they get up and then if you go, you can get some money. You can get tickets. They are paper tickets. There are no online tickets. DEP, which is right down on Noble, you can stop in their office and buy tickets. And I think there's some other locations too. This is for the Llama Flop. I think the Rib and Chicken Fest. Don't know where those tickets are, but
Can you
Sure.
buy those tickets at the event or do you?
the Llama Flop will sell out. That will likely sell out, but the other ones I think you can buy as a walk up.
And you can get it from anybody from the Rotary too, so if you need contacts, just let us know, we'll get you in contact.
And I don't know if there is a concert that night or not in the park. But those are on Thursday nights also. Saturday night Disco Fever, we talked about that in the community dinner. Any other public comments or community events? Okay. Other comments. At this time, citizens may address the Crafton Borough Council on any issue. Only residents and taxpayers of the Borough of Crafton will be permitted to address the council. Speakers will be permitted to speak for a maximum of 3 minutes. Groups of people will be required to designate a spokesperson to represent them before the council, who may speak for a maximum of 5 minutes. Council has the option to respond or not at the end of the address. Please state your name and physical address for the record. Is anybody here? Okay, sure.
What do we do with the signage?
They don't have to sign.
Oh.
Hi, 1781 Borough. I know the Crafton Central Business District plan is all just starting for this grant that you're working on. And as somebody who walks, and I'm walking down the sidewalk and Serafino's has all their tables and chairs out, I end up out in the street. So is there any consideration to, I know you mentioned something about extending the sidewalk out, but is there any consideration possibly of changing that to just like a one-way street with like, I'm gonna call it not parallel parking, but the parking, then you'd have more parking and just a question. I just thought it would be interesting. How many people actually go the other way on that street? It's pretty narrow to begin with, but just a thought.
Okay. Now I know that we can respond. Does anybody else want to speak? Okay. So we can respond if we want to, or we should check. Anybody online? Please raise your hand. They can't, they're on a phone anyhow, so.
I think it's just the chief.
Yeah. So I think one thing to remember about that street is also across the street is Gerber with cars going and they have that garage. So they kind of go both ways on that street because cars will come in, go out and up and around. But it's something obviously we should look into. And then you have the towers that are right there too. People are coming.
And generally speaking, you don't in a district that's already fairly limited by geography, you don't tend to want to put one-way streets because it limits movement, but there might be options to, and this also you have to be careful with, because parking is pretty limited in that area. Is we can do some bump outs where they have what I think the plan right now as it stands, it has a bump out going in front of Serafino's, so Serafino's can put tables out, but there's still more room for someone to walk comfortably. And when you're designing streetscapes like that, where you're allowing for sidewalk cafes, you have to allow for a 4-foot pathway, which they don't have right now. So that you can walk comfortably and wheelchairs can get by comfortably. But we'll look into all that when we design it. As far as the one-way, we'll examine, I don't even know the width of that road at this moment exactly, so we'll have to look into that and see what options are available.
Am I allowed to say anything else? Just a question. If you bump out in front of Serafino's, then you don't have any parking on a road. That road's so narrow.
Well, I'm saying you would lose 2 parking spaces for Serafino's,
Okay.
but it would just be 2 as opposed to limiting the whole road. And we had looked at doing the same thing in front of Circle Inn with, since they're a restaurant, having more room for them out in front as well, but that's the only place on that street.
With that, our meeting is adjourned.